Hey guys, so there's this question that I'm getting pretty much about which Psychube is best for Windsong. So I did a calculation and comparison between these three Psycubes, which is outside of the city, which is Junyang's Psycube, and we have for rehabilitation, which is her own, and Blasphemer of Night. One thing is that I did not explain what this Psycube does, so if you really want to know more about what they provide, please do refer to maybe website like Preden, or just enter the game and click on the Psycube in the shop and you can see what they actually do. For this calculation, as a start, here I have the stats, her base stats, and then the stats from Resonance. I focus on crit in my Resonance, so this is the stats that I get. And then I have Insight, which at Insight 3, she provides 20% crit and 10% crit damage. Then we have her debuff Confusion when she uses her ulti, and that's 25 crit resist down. And we have measures, where each measure stacks is 3% crit damage and 3% crit rate. So she gains the stacks every time someone crits or when the enemy is inflicted with confusion. But the thing is that it doesn't stay for long. So every stack is 2 turns. So she kind of like fluctuates between maybe 5 to 6 stacks to 12 and 13 stacks up and down like this as we move along. Yeah, so I'm taking the average here at 8 stacks. But I did include a calculation for 15 stacks which is maximum, and also at 0 stacks. Anyway, the adjusted stats due to excess crit to crit damage when she uses her ulti. So the total stats that I have without Psycube here is 1365 for attack, 100% crit rate, 228.6% for crit damage, and damage bonus 16%. So after I consider Psycube, if I'm using for rehabilitation, it is 1725 for attack, which is 10 attack lower than outside the city, because the Psycube provide less attack. Yeah. And then crit rate is 100%, crit damage is 244.6%, and we have damage bonus. And here I consider the damage boost, which is maximum, is 24%, and incantation might 5%. Outside of the city is 100% crit rate, and crit damage is really high up at 306.6%. But do note that we need to do 10 extra action for each stacks and up to 10 stacks before we can actually reach a total of 62% crit damage. This is assuming that the Psycube is at A5. So if you want to get all the bonus from outside the city, Windsong will have to do a lot of extra action. And she only does that when you uses her ulti. So which means to get all maximum 10 stack, assuming that you are doing about 4 to 5 extra action after she uses the ulti, and that's already on a higher value. Usually maybe it's like 3, sometimes 3 to 5 I would say. So you need about 3 usage of her ulti in order to maximize the stacks from outside the city, which is not that easy, to be honest. And for rehabilitation, which is her own, it's kind of like similar. You need to use her ulti, and every time she do a 1 target attack after you use her ulti, she get 8% damage dealt. So you need to do 3 to get 24%, which is maximum, and you can achieve that through 1 use of her ulti, right? Whereby for Blasphemer of Night, there is no such mechanism, so it's off the bat, but you do need 2 negative status. She can inflict 1 negative status due to confusion after you use her ulti. So you just need 1 more, and you probably can get that if you are using 6 or you are using Isolt, because Isolt burn is also a negative status. Okay, so now that we understand that, let us look into the damage that she will deal depending on which Psychube that she uses. So here it is. Right, so I'm assuming this is all at max stack, and then I have max stack as in the Psychube, not the measures, right? So at max, so which means for rehabilitation after you use 1 ulti outside the city, maybe after you use 3 ultis, and then Blasphemy of Night. So regardless, I'm still getting a better value for rehabilitation compared to outside the city. So you can see overall for rehabilitation deals more, but if you look at 0 stacks, 0 measure stacks, outside the city actually deals more. But think about it, are we, maybe at the start of the fight, you will start with 0 measure stacks, but you probably will not be at 0 measure stack as we move along. And at the beginning of the fight, we don't even get the stacks from outside the city yet. So overall, for rehabilitation is a better Psychube for Windsong. And for Blasphemer of Night, surprisingly, this is better than the other Psychube regardless of situation. So if you do have Blasphemer of Night, and if you are bringing E-Soul or 6 into the fight, by all means, right, do use Blasphemer of Night. It's actually really good due to the 18% incantation might, and all Windsong's damage is focused on incantation. So my recommendation here, Blasphemer of Night, if you have it. If you don't have it, I don't suggest you to specifically purchase it. Due to flexibility and depending on how you want to form your team, I still believe for rehabilitation is still the best for Windsong. And in terms of percentage, maybe it's just difference by 1 to 2% or maybe lesser. So don't be too stressed over choosing Blasphemer of Night or for rehabilitation. And outside of city, however, I was really quite frustrated because when I was doing raid, and we know that, you know, everyone's doing raid, they are stacking up incantation, and after that just do one big chunk of damage after Windsong use her ulti. But think about it, if you do that, you will not be using Windsong ulti at all. So which means you will not be able to trigger outside the city before you use the ulti. So for the first 10 attacks after you use the ulti, you will not be able to maximize or get the most out of outside the city, right? So in that case, I do not recommend, or if you have outside the city and you have Junyangzi, I still would suggest you to get for rehabilitation for Windsong, because overall you will find it more satisfying to have that. And here is a video after this discussion. I have a video showing the damage comparison between outside of city and for rehabilitation. But if you are not, if you don't want to watch the entire video, just look into the last attack. I will put a pin or basically a timestamp in the video description to indicate that is the part that you have to focus on, because I use a rank 2 rehabilitation incantation, and yes, the one with 4 rehabilitation Psychube deals more damage than outside of city. Alright, so anyway, thank you for watching and have a good day.
A new hypothesis.
Relax. I admire your courage. I will remember your sacrifice.
Taking another look?
Come back to me. Together, we are fearless. Sharp fangs. Don't worry.
A good point. A new hypothesis. No other study could show you this. Calculating distance. An academic question. An academic question.
No worries. I admire your courage.
Limited scale, infinite lines. Behold.
I smell the scent of misery.
For you and for us. A good point. A new hypothesis. A good point. The benefits of field mapping. Confirm the coordinates. Behold.
Comrades, what do you say? Shall we solve the problem with the strength of our own hands and arms? We are all
Stay here, no matter what.
The puppy wishes to come along.
A new hypothesis.
I will remember your sacrifice. I admire your courage.
Taking another look.
For the good of all. Sharp fangs. I smell the scent of misery.
A good point. A new hypothesis. The benefits of field mapping. Calculating distance. An academic question.
I will remember your sacrifice. I admire your courage.
Limited scale, infinite lines. Confirm the coordinates.
For you and for us. Keep up the pace.
A new hypothesis. A good point.
I will remember your sacrifice.
No other study could show you this. Behold.
For the good of all.